continue today The Egyptian Heaven and Hell by E.A. Wallis Budge. And Yom Dawat, Chapter 6, is called the 6th division of the Dawat, which is called Matchat Monabat Dawat. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm probably going to see it here somewhere, so. In this scene, which illustrates the 6th division of the Dawat, which is passed through by the sun entity during the 6th hour of the night, we see in the middle register the dead sun, Yefu Ra. Once again standing in his boat, under the canopy, accompanied by his usually company of entities. We have 8 beings with him, or 7 beings and his wife. He is no longer in the serpent boat, wherein he passed by through the domain of Skra, and he is no longer being towed along. In front of the boat are Thoth. Which variation of Thoth are we looking at? Is it Dahuti? Is that Krote? Jahuti? Anyways, I have a whole program on my political list about what Thoth means and what Thoth represents. In the form of a man with the head of a cynocephalous ape, seated on a throne, bearing the name Sote Khente Nub Dawat. Khente Nub Dawat. Okay. A female figure with her hands turned behind her, holding in each the pupil of an eye of Horus, or Ra. She's called Yemut Smu Set. The text above her reads, "This great entity traveleth through this city, being provided with his boat on the water. He worketh the paddle in this country towards the palace of the body of Yesir," you know, Osiris. "The majesty of this great entity speaketh to the demons who are in this country when he arriveth at these houses which are hidden and which contain the image of Yesir. This entity crieth, are in them, and they hearken to the voice of this entity as he passeth them by." The woman's trying to hide some stuff from him, isn't she? And he's saying, while he's holding the thing out, it's like, "Come on, just give me those little balls in your hand, and I'll give you this bird." And it's like, "Your bird's going to fly away. I'm not falling for that one again." In the abode of Osiris are 16 entities in mummified forms. The first 4 are bearded, and wear the munyat and the white crown, and each is described by the title Sultan, from which we get Sultan, probably, King of the South. The second 4 are bearded and are described as Hatapteo. The third 4 are bearded and wear the munyat and the red crown, and each is described by the title Byet. And the fourth 4 are bearded and are called Khu, or Xku, spirits. Actually, spirits as in, like, the Holy Spirit, the Malaika, the Devas, the Ahuras, Madriax. And see, we see the other four, well, the other sets of four. So there's a difference between the jinn and the malaka and this, the light beings and the fire beings, the unfallen angels and the fallen angels. Some people are gonna, it's an English word. Immediately in front of these entities is an enormous serpent with 5 heads, which is called Ash Her You, meaning the many-faced. The body of this serpent is bent round to form an oval, and within it lies, on his back, the entity Yafu, who is holding upon his head a beetle, which is the symbol of the entity Xpre. Yeah. Yeah, remember, when you see stuff more than once, and it makes a sound, sometimes that series, you just go ooh at the end. And the text above it reads, but let's look at this guy hanging out with his 5 snakes. So, what snake's going to get you when you're dead? And they're in your grave there. What's going to happen when you rise again? Think about it. Saith the majesty of this great entity to the kings of the south, to the Hatuptio, to the kings of the north, and the spirits who are in the city, may your royal state and condition be with you. May you receive your white crowns, and ye Hatuptio, may you receive your offerings, and ye kings of the north, may ye receive your red crowns, and ye spirits, may you receive your appointed rights. May your offerings be unto you, and may ye be in peace. May ye have power over your souls. May ye be adorned. May ye have sovereignty over your city. May ye have peace in your fields. May ye join yourselves to your secret things with your crowns. May your appointed rights be paid to you. May your sacrifices of propitiation be made to you, and give to the entities their mouth. Avenge ye me in this land, and back in pieces the serpent Apep, O ye kings of the south, ye Hatuptio, ye kings of the north, and ye spirits who dwell in this land. Those who are in this picture stand up in their places, and they hear the voice of the great entity, the Lord of the dead body, that is to say, Xpre, in his own flesh, in the act of guarding of the serpent of many faces. It is said of him who is in this picture, with his tail in his mouth, his work is to rise up with this image, to journey in the west in his form, and to travel in every place of the Dawat. Dawat seems like it's the Janut realm, don't you think? The fire being realm, the realm where the demons, you know, the material of the demons and their thing. Through the voice of Ra, it is that the figures who are in him advanced. The text which runs in the border above the upper register reads, "This is the hidden path of Ymentet, on the water of which is transported this great entity in his boat to arrange the lots of those who are in the Duat, if their names are to be uttered, if their bodies are known, if their true forms and the knowledge of their hour be known, and the quality of this secret figure of the Duat by any man whatsoever are, if an exact representation in drawing be made of what is in the hidden place of Ymet of the Duat, which is to the south of the Yit of Ymentet. Whosoever knoweth this thing shall be one who is fully provided with the food in the Duat, So Yementet, it's a hidden realm, the unseen, the occult. Whosoever knoweth this thing shall be one who is fully provided with food in the Dewat, and he shall partake in the offerings which are made to the demons who are in the following of Yasir, and he shall have the offerings which all his kinsfolk are in duty bound to make to him upon earth. The upper register has a company of 9 demons and demonesses, all of whom are represented as seated, but their seats of state, our thrones, are invisible. They may be thus numbered: Hatat Xnte Duate. In the form of a mummy, his hands project from his bandages, and on his head he has symbols of meat and drink. So the drink is the jug, and the little pile, I guess, is the meat. The demoness. Yusuf Mahit R. Yustit Yumhit. Yumhit. Okay, I got heat right the first time. R. Yisra Mahit, with the crown of the north on her head. Her name means Isis in the north. The entity Yusir Yum Yub Nutru, meaning Osiris in the heart of the gods. The entity Hruknti Yahetf, horse at the head of his field, hawk-headed, with his hands projecting from his bandages. The entity Bunte Yur Yahtef R. Bunte Rutef. Okay, that's perhaps. Ape-headed with hands projecting from his bandages, the entity Ma'yibkante Yahataf. Okay, that doesn't look right. Ma'yibkante Yahataf. Okay. You just gotta go with the wearing the white crown and the menget, and with his hands projecting from his bandages. So we're looking at those 4. Three entities, the first 2 of whom are Hanamsham and Jahabit. The text which refers to this company of entities reads, okay, there's more about the Duat, obviously. Saith the majesty of this great entity to the entities who are over this field, O ye demons who dwell in the Duat, ye Hataptiu who keep ward over your masters, ye unto whom offerings are made from the offerings of your fields of offerings, whereon ye take your rest each day. Unite yourselves to the provisions which are mine. Ye are the lords of your hands, and ye have right to your feet. Ye are exalted in your forms, and ye are great in your transformations. Ye have power over what ye produce. Ye have power over what ye have possessions of. Ye have possession over that which you have power. Ye have power over that which ye have possession. Ye have possession over that which ye have dominion. Protect ye, yes, sir, from those who would act with violence and wrong against him. The work of those entities in the Duat is to give offerings to the demons of the Duat, who are masters of their offerings, and of the food which proceedeth forth from the mouth of this great entity. The scepters of the form, which are each surmounted by the white crown, from the base of each projects with a knife. And so why is there 4? Three scepters of similar form, each surmounted by the red crown, from the base of each projects a knife. 3 scepters of similar form, each surmounted by a uraeus, from the base of each projects a knife. The text which reads this thus: Saith the majesty of this great entity to the majesties of the kings of the south and the north, who dwell in the Duat, reap ye, and O ye who wear the white crowns, O ye who wear the red crowns like souls, their lands. Ye who belong to the Duat, produce your own offerings therein. Make ye to be Ma'at, your scepters, let your souls live, and yet your throats have food to swallow, and ye shall come into being upon the land. Their soul shall rise up in the Duat on their scepters. They are provided with knives, and no violence shall be done to them. Demoness. The lion, ka, couchant, and facing 2 companies of the entities described above. Above his back are the 2 achuts, between which is the sign, just the bottom part of that eye thing. A form of the demoness Isis, in a sitting position but without a throne. It's a the demon Chef Hadjafu. It's a gra instead of a cha. The demon Jot True, in mummified form, holding a scepter in one hand and a knife in the other. Because that tong thing is a TJ sort of sound. A chamber with an opening under the roof, through which a snake, which stands on its tail, outside it belches fire. Under a vaulted covering is an image of Ra in the form of the hindquarters of a lion. The chamber is called... Oh, did I show you that one? Lion's colored black, which is kind of unusual. The chamber is called Hut, temple. Dua Ura. A similar chamber with an image of Ra in the form of a hawk's wing. The name of this chamber is Hut Stau. Hutstu Xer Aha. A similar chamber with an image of Ra in the form of a human head. The name of this chamber is Hut Dum Dut Ra. The text reads... Okay, and before I say that, in the lower register, look at what's going on here. The entity Hunte, crocodile-headed in a seating position but without a throne. And I used to be expert at air chair before all those injuries. No one in my city could do it like me. Actually, I don't know that. Just among the youth, people under, grade schoolers. the entity maneuver, crocodile-headed or ape-headed. The entity yahi, the entity hum, the entity nutch gituf, the entity anxre, the entity muthare, the entity nardte, but what do you say, nu before T? And we have two examples of stuff going on there. 4 demonesses, each in a seated position, but without a throne. The first is called Yun-cha-cha. The second is called Hun-hun-ch. Oh, Hun-hun-ich. I'm not meant to say cha so much. And the fourth, Sahich. The text which reads, then, the majesty of this great entity saith to these entities, O ye demons who dwell in the Duat, and who are in the following of the Lord of beings, who are in the Duat, who standeth up and sitteth down in Nu, who dwell in your field, O ye demons who send forth light, who make to stand upon your bodies, and O ye demonesses who sit down in the following of the scarab in the place which are his bodies in the Duat, O ye who live on your, whose hearts live on their food, who send forth light in the darkness which surroundeth you, who have the mastery of your red crowns, who partake in the content of the offerings made to you, let them travel in my following, let my soul be with me, let me rest or unite myself to my bodies, and let me pass by you in peace. These entities hear the voice of Ra every day, and they have their life through his voice. The work which they have to do in the Duat is to convey along souls, and to accompany the shades of the dead, and to make provisions for spirits, and to find them waters. It can, in a way, be said we have shades. Shades is in entities that follow us around and kind of know what's going on with us, and they communicate with each other, and they communicate with soothsayers and stuff sometimes, so it's not really the dead that's being talked about, it's the spirits that used to know about this person in life, or at least a spirit that claims such. The monster serpent, Amksu, with the head raised from the ground and the symbol of life under his head, out of the crest of each of the 4 undulations of his body springs a bearded head, and the 4 heads are those of the children of Horus, Musthe, Hapi, Dwa, Mutaf, and Khab Hasanuf. The text which reads to the serpent, which refers to the serpent, reads, this serpent is himself invisible. You know, I made a thing about Apep, too, as far as what that would represent. You know, a replacement of the left and right, as it is, something better. So it's not just a symbol of evil, people, but anyways, the serpent himself is invisible to this great entity, and these forms, the head of the 4 children of Horus, have their being in the folds, and they hear the voice of the great entity every day. The work which he doeth in the Duat is to devour the shades of the dead, and eat up the spirits of the enemies, and to overthrow those who are hostile in the Duat. The entity guy, that jug thing is, you know, it's not a K, it's a G sound. The entity money, the entity Yinerd, the entity Word, Each of these 4 entities is in a seating position but has no throne whereon to sit. And let's make sure you see what's going on there. A company of 9 serpents, each of which belches fire from its mouth and is armed with a huge knife. Only the heads and upper parts of the bodies of these serpents are visible. Their names are Ka, Janan, Tum, Thepre, Shu, Sob, Yustir, Haru, Yipu, and Hatapeu. Sometimes you go ew when you're dealing with a plural, but a plural of like 2. It's the example here. So, saith the majesty of this great entity to these entities, O ye who make yourselves to be standing, although ye are seated, ye who are in motion, although ye are at rest, ye whose souls come into being, and ye who are united in your shades. United to your shades, who lift up your feet, and who move onward by your thighs, unite ye yourselves to your flesh, and let not your members be fettered. They have their life through the voice of this great entity every day, and the work which they do is to watch the 2 comings of the great Kuti. Concerning the 9 serpents it is said, the majesty of this great entity speaketh words to these male demons who are in the head of the city. Hail, O 9 forms of the divine spirits, whose faces are in flames. Well, the infernal spirits. Who are provided with your knives, burn ye up the enemies of Thre, back in pieces their shades, for ye are the warders of the hidden flesh, which is made of new your habitations, for it is ye who dwell in the waters of Tarkanan, and it is for you that the magic powers of Thre come into being. They have their names, XPR is Y is come into being. They have their means of living from the word of Ra every day. The work which they do in the Duat is to hack asunder the dead and cause the spirits to be destroyed. Well, do we live on, or do we get destroyed in another way? The spiritual death, of which the soul and the spirit end up surviving, but, it's a way of speaking. But I'm not meaning to say that there are a bunch of gods and goddesses and stuff like this, and it's obvious from the text that we're dealing with the Shayateen Minal Jinn, but we're dealing with the journey that mystically afterlife, our spiritual journey, our both in this life and the afterlife, our psychological makeup. This is what stories like this enact upon. Sharma, peace be upon you.